Hello there. I'm going to cover a few things you can do with pallets. I had loads and loads of different kinds of pallets to break up earlier on in the year. Well, I've been doing it for some years now actually. All kinds of timber hook. And mainly you find it in different thicknesses. You can see there. And also in slightly different widths, although they tend to be closer. When you're digging through your pallets, you really want to try and find pallets that are marked HT. If you dig around, you'll find some stamped markings on them, and the ones that say HT, Hotel, Tango, are the ones that are heat treated. And they're the ones that are a lot better to use and play with. You still use the other stuff, but be careful what you use it for. So that's all made up with just scrap pallets of all kinds. Fired it together with a nail gun, a little bit of wood glue, give it a lick of fence paint, and it's just a little barrier. Let the wildlife come through and just markates the edge of the property. It's not intended to stop anyone coming over, because down here they'll just smash it in anyway if they want to get in. So it markates this little area where I can put all my offcuts and stuff. I'm clearing the garden, trimming the holly tree earlier. So yeah, we can make fences out of it. There's a little one that's this one's normally used as a gate here. Just chuck him on there. I've got quite a bit of it left yet. It's a good thing to do if you've got old rotten wood, is pile it round where you've got ponds and stuff. It's great for insects and wildlife, they love living in there. There's a big pile of mulch here, the badgers are constantly digging around down here looking for grubs and food. So there's another thing you can do with pallets, if you're brave. Build yourself a shed. I mean, I've even used them for the brackets for the guttering. Just cut from pieces of pallet wood. And people go, "Oh, that's not going to last very long." I've seen pallet wood after it's been in builders' yards for say 3 or 4 years, and it's still structurally good for little jobs like this. So maybe I have to change them in 5 years. 4 years, let's say it's 3 years, they cost me nothing, and to replace them will cost about the same. So the whole shed was built from pallets, each piece stripped off, sized, cut, and then formed into a shed. I'll take you around the other side and we'll have a look. The nicer pallets like this, see, that's quite a good construction as it is. That makes quite a nice little fencing panel. So some things I don't smash all of them up, only the ones that are necessary where I need bits. This thing here is from America. Look at this. And this is a pallet and a half. Look at the thickness of that. And sadly the guy who put it together went mental. I think he must have been some kind of war veteran, because he went about this like Al Capone with a Tommy gun. So yeah. There's the, look, see, HT, there's the magic, that's all you need. Once you see that HT, you know you've just got a nice bit of natural timber with no excessive chemical sprayed on it. So we've just come down the side there, and then this is the front of the shed. I haven't trimmed the felt for the roof yet around. I can't quite like the way it's keeping the rain off, but maybe trim that this summer. So the door's made from pallets, the whole shed's made from pallets. It's not quite as bright as I'd hoped, but it's a relatively big shed. It's about, say, I think it was about 4 metres wide by about 2.5 deep metres. So it's about 5 by 2.5. I just got all my junk in here, store all my timber. In this corner here I've got a little log burner that's made out of an old Calagas bottle. I don't know if it were Cal or God knows who it come out of the side of a road. Someone had abandoned it, so I cut it up and used it as a log burner. That's an old cast iron guttering tube as a chimney. Yeah, not much more to see in there, but there's the other pile of drying pallet wood that I've got left. So another thing I do with them quite a lot. Oh, door's going to shut on it. But I do this with them. Yeah. I glue them up and form them into sheets. I've got a series of bar clamps and I can glue them up and form boards. They're not the best things in the world, but if you're just making little bits of something for use around a garden, planters, anything like that, they're really handy. These are some doors that I've made out of some recycled floorboards for a friend of mine. When they came, they all looked a bit like this. And now I've done my business, and we're looking more like this. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a lovely kind of satin shine to it. Beautiful. So, a bit more recycling there, like that. And so, yeah, you can build them up into boards as well. Don't worry too much if they're a bit twisted and what have you, because they're only thin. And with your clamps and with a bit of patience, you can get them back to something that's decent. So, yeah, that's the shed. Now, it's not all pallets. There were a few bits of reclaimed timber, like there was an old floor out of a house that got reclaimed that did most of the flooring. A lot of the roofing timbers I got cheap because they were all warped and bent, which for me weren't a problem. Let's have a see. I'll come back down here. There's another one, look. That's a recent acquisition. But you can also do other things with them. See, once you've formed them into boards, you can start to make little tote boxes out of them. This is all made of pallets, the whole thing. It's just a little tote box for my sander. Got the Bosch sander in there and all the sandpaper and all the gizmoids for when I'm finishing. Dust mask. Yeah, all built out of pallets. No problem. Good, solid, strong construction. Takes the weight of the sander, no problem. Boom. And then if you want to go a little bit further, I make cajons. I make box drums out of them. All this is made out of pallet wood. It sounds awesome. The only thing that isn't pallet wood, obviously, is the plane head. That has to be a thinner grade of plywood. And it wants tensioning as well, or else it doesn't sound right. Sounds like you're playing a cardboard box instead of an instrument. See, so pallet wood can be amazingly versatile. You've got to remember the only difference between rough sawn timber and the kind of thing you're buying in the shop is the planing, the finishing. And if you're prepared to do a bit of that. Oh yeah, so pallet wood, you can do all sorts with it. There you go, here's a little planter I made. Nice, eh? Free. There's another one. I forget what's in that now. Coriander. I've got some coriander coming on. It's actually overwintered, which is pretty good. It kept coming all the way through winter. Shows you how mild our winter's been. This one's got a little. Have a look here. You can hang this one up. Yep, all pallet wood. So it's as wild as your imagination. From planters to musical instruments to tote boxes to sheds to fences. I've got some down here. This is all bits of pallet wood as well. I've just got all my plastering stuff sat on it so it keeps it off the floor, but I use them for everything. Can't go wrong. Pallet heaven.